Okay, this is a lecture which is matching up to the introduction of chapter one. It's really more like the introduction to the entire book. In this section, we want to do some discussion about some basic vocabulary that we're going to be using in our class for the entire year. The first page, besides describing the learning objectives, has a hiring discrimination activity. We're going to do that in class, so don't worry about that. We're just going to sort of hop into page two here. In page two, we start talking about, well, what is this statistics class about? Now, I know that you've heard the term statistics, and we throw a lot of words, summary words, but do we really know what we mean when we talk about statistics? Um, uh, from the standpoint of a discipline. And we're going to say statistics is the science of learning from data. Now, this statement is really, really broad. So every time that you go out and collect data, every time, let's say you go to Chipotle, you buy something and you're like, that tastes pretty good. Next time you go, that tastes pretty good. Well, each one time you do that, you're collecting data about the quality of the food at that moment. You're collecting data and you're learning from that data. I like Chipotle. I'm going to go there more. Me, I have um, a pretty bad relationship with Taco Bell, but that's a different story. Okay. So the science of learning from data is what we're all about. Now, part of this process is called data analysis. Data analysis is that we have a bunch of data, and what do we want to do with that data? Well, one thing that we want to do is organize it. We want to get that data in a form that's digestible. That may mean that we display it, but in the form of a chart. It may mean that we find some way to summarize it in the form of finding the mean or the median of a data set, which we'll talk about later in this chapter. And ultimately, we might try to ask questions about the data or try to answer questions using the data. Um, you know, did crime go down? Are incomes higher? Is inflation under control? Okay. So that's the big picture of what we're going to be doing in this class. Now, to do that, we've got to break down the process of dealing with data. And when we have a data set, the data set is made up of individuals. So, what's a firm definition of individuals? Individuals are the objects described in a set of data. And what are the examples of those kinds of things that might be in a set of data? Well, they could be people, like the people in our class. They could be things, like water samples to find out if there's dangerous chemicals in them. They could be animals, like the wolves on Isle Royale. Okay, but all of these um, individuals can be measured in multiple ways. Um, and those different ways we can measure them are called variables. People, we can measure their height. We can measure their grade point average. We can measure their shoe size. We can measure whether they own a car, whether they have a job. Okay. Variables get broken into two subsets, categorical variables and quantitative variables. Categorical variables, places, an individual into one, emphasis on one, of several categories. Quantitative variables takes on a numerical value for which it makes sense to take an average. Now you're looking at that definition like, I don't know whether that makes much sense, but let me put it this way. Let's think about area codes. Area codes are numbers. My area code is 3131, sorry, 313. Okay. Your area code very likely is 248. Okay. Both of those are numbers. But does it make sense to take the average of those two numbers? Do we get any insight about taking the average of those two numbers? And the answer is no. The average of those two numbers has no possible meaning. That's because those numbers, while they're numbers, they're categorical variables. They place me in one of several categories. What area code am I in? They are not quantitative variables in the sense that the quantity of that value makes much of a difference. So, what are some examples of categorical variables? Well, gender is one, hair color. How about your favorite fast food restaurant? Okay. What are some examples of some quantitative variables? Well, height or shoe size, or maybe the amount of sleep that you got last night. Or maybe the number of siblings that you have. All of these are very, all the values of these variables are numbers, and it makes sense to take their average. Okay, let's take a look at a data set. So here's information about 10 randomly selected U.S. residents from the 2000 census. And we look over this list and we can say, well, who are the individuals in this data set? Well, looks to me like they are U.S. citizens. Now, is it all of the U.S. citizens? No, but our data set doesn't have to have every single thing in a group. It could be a sample or a subgroup of that. All right. We have a bunch of different individuals. Each one of these are individuals, and we're measuring them on different variables. And each one of these variables can be thought of as either categorical or quantitative. Let's go through the variables in this data set and which ones are categorical. Well, I think state, which they live in, is categorical. Let's go to the next one. Number of family members. Well, that seems to be quantitative. Okay. What about age? Well, that's certainly quantitative. Gender, well, as we said before, that's a categorical. Marital status, that's categorical. Okay, how about income? Income, that's quantitative. And travel time to work, that's quantitative. Okay. Last one. Describe the individual in the first row. Well, what do we know about the individual in the first row? Let me highlight that. It's this person right here. And what do we know about the individual? The first individual has what characteristics? Individual is from Kentucky, has two family members, is 61 years old, is female, is married, makes $21,000, and and travels 20 minutes to work. Okay. Now, could I write that up a little bit fancier? Sure. But for the purposes of this, it's like, yeah, that's good enough. We got all of those ideas across. Now, yes, we have individuals that are in these data sets, but what happens when we look at the data sets as a whole? Well, when we look at them as a whole, when we look at them, we talk about their distribution. So what is a distribution? The distribution of a variable is the values a variable takes on and how often it takes on those values. Now, you may look at that and say, well, that sounds redundant. Well, let's take a look at this data set. Hey, we got a bunch of cars and their gas mileage. The individuals in this data set are the cars. The two variables that are being looked at are the model and the MPG. Let's focus on the MPG. Okay? Oh, 22 is a value in that distribution. 23 is a value in that distribution. So these are the values that are taken on by this variable called MPG. 14 miles a gallon for that one. That's all great. But when we think about the distribution, we not only talk about the individual values, but take a look. How often did 28 come up? How often did 29 come up? Those gas mileages are more prevalent than a gas mileage of 14. So the distribution is not only that some car had a 28 miles per gallon gas mileage, but several of them did. And that also makes that 14 look a little bit unusual. Maybe that 18 looks a little bit unusual because there are values around it and they're singletons. So is there something special about that 14? A Bentley, that's a pretty expensive car. The 18, a Rolls Royce, that's a pretty expensive car. Oh, we can get insight about the fact that the cars that seem to be different than the other values and not repeated are are fundamentally different kinds of cars, more expensive cars. And so that's what we mean about distribution. In general, we're always trying to make sense of data. As we said, data analysis is this process by which we try to get insight, we organize, we display, we ask questions of the data. We do that by making sometimes graphs of that data And this particular graph is called a dot plot. We'll talk about that more later. We may summarize the data. How? Well, we may look at ways of saying, well, what do we know about this data set? In this case, hey, the average gas mileage was 27. Is that important to us? If average means typical, yeah, typical gas mileage was about 27, making the Bentley and the Rolls not very typical. So this is a general process that we're going to talk about more, more as we get into this first chapter. Check for understanding. Hey, Jake's a car buff who wants to find out more about the vehicles that the students at his school drive. He gets permission to go out in the parking lot and record some data. Later, he does some research about each model of car in the internet. Finally, Jake makes a spreadsheet that includes the car's model, year, color, number of cylinders, gas mileage, weight, and whether it has a navigation system. Question 1. Who are the individuals in Jake's study? Well, the individuals in this study are cars in the parking lot. That's where he got his data. Okay. What were the variables? Are they categorical and or quantitative? Well, let's make a list. The variables are things like the car model. Well, that sounds categorical to my ears. Year. Well, that sounds like quantitative. Color. That's categorical. Number of cylinders. That's quantitative. Gas mileage. That is quantitative. Weight. That's quantitative. Whether it has a navigation system. Navigation system, that's a yes or no question. Navigation system is a categorical variable. So Jake may give a lot of insight about the cars in the parking lot. Ultimately, one of the things that we're after in this class, and we're going to hit this subject really, really hard second semester, is this idea that data analysis tells us what we just looked at, but one of the things that we like to do is called inference. Inference is the process of taking information from a sample, performing data analysis on that sample data, and then saying, we think that the sample data gives us insight about what's going on at the population level. A sample is not everything in the population. Think of the population as the students at CASA. If I talk to only some of them, I have a sample. And I might get some insights from that sample. What we'd like to do is, if we do things well, we might say that those samples give us some insight about not only the people we talked to, but the people we didn't talk to either. And this happens all the time. So we have looked at the idea that a data set contains individuals, that for each individual, you measure those individuals based on one or more variables. Variables can be either categorical or quantitative, and the distribution of a variable tells us what values it takes on and how often it takes on those values. And then, again, second semester, we'll be looking at, well, does this give us insight about what's going on at the population level?